All right, guys, Wes here. Welcome back to the channel, and get ready to take your God of War Ragnarok experience to the next level, because Santa Monica Studios just announced on Twitter the highly anticipated spring 2023 update for God of War Ragnarok will include the long-awaited new Game Plus feature. With that update, we should expect tons of content and quality of life improvements, and so much more, but that's not all we're going to be discussing in today's video. Rumor has it we may see a spin-off game in the God of War universe centered around Atreus' journey in the future. With all of this exciting content on the horizon, you won't want to miss out on the 2023 update for God of War Ragnarok. I've got a ton of exciting news to share with you, so you don't want to miss out. Now, whether you're a seasoned veteran or new to the God of War universe, be sure to stick around until the end to get all of the details and get ready to dive back into the 9 realms. Also, guys, I'm giving away a PlayStation 5 for 80,000 subscribers, and this is your last chance to enter. So if you guys would like to, the full details will be at the end of the video. It's been over 2 months since the release of God of War Ragnarok, and many of you have already beaten the game or are well into your second or even third playthrough, but hold on to your axes because Sony Santa Monica just announced a holiday miracle for fans of the game. A new update is coming. While you'll have to wait a bit longer to get your hands on the update, the news from the official Twitter account is sure to get you pretty hyped up. They posted on Twitter, and I quote, "We know many of you have been asking, so we're happy to confirm that New Game Plus will be coming to God of War Ragnarok in spring of 2023. We'll share more details once we get closer to the release." Now, the announcement of a new update for God of War Ragnarok is certainly great news, but it does leave me wondering why the update is being released in 6 months. It's a bit unusual for a developer to announce an update so far in advance, and it's possible that the long wait may leave some players feeling a bit disappointed, which is rightfully so. However, it's important to consider that the development team at Santa Monica Studios may need more time to create the high quality New Game Plus content that we've come to expect from the game. Ensuring that the experience is up to par is so important, and taking the time to properly develop the update is a smart decision, and ultimately the 6-month wait may be worth it for the amazing content that will be included in the update. Another possible reason for the 6-month wait for the new update for God of War Ragnarok could be that the release timing has been adjusted to align with the launch of the game on the PC platform. Sony is known for releasing its first-party titles on PC around a year after they launch on PlayStation, so it wouldn't really be a surprise if the next big update for God of War Ragnarok was released alongside the PC launch. Now, taking a look back at the history of God of War, the 2018 game was released in April, and the New Game Plus content was released just 4 months later in August. This seems more in line with when a New Game Plus update should release. It was confirmed that God of War Ragnarok will not be receiving any major story expansions for post-launch content, so the team won't be spending time on that aspect of the game's development, which would be much more understandable if we were waiting for 6 months for an update that extends the story. However, it's possible that God of War Ragnarok's New Game Plus will be packed with content. Now, with God of War 2018's content in mind for New Game Plus, we can expect the difficulty for God of War Ragnarok to be increased. We're going to get new and more powerful armor with unique abilities. Scapslag will also likely have a triumphant return in this update. Along with that, the enemy and other bosses' attack patterns will be updated. And with it being a 6-month wait, it's possible that this update will bring significant changes to the overall New Game Plus experience that we're used to, but we will have to wait and see. It's no secret that many fans were left wanting more after the conclusion of God of War Ragnarok, which marked the start of a new journey for Atreus in Angrboda. While Kratos' journey may have come to an end for the Norse saga, the game heavily hinted at Atreus' journey continuing in the future, and this of course has led to speculation about the possibility of a spin-off game being developed and released prior to God of War 6, potentially featuring Atreus as the main character. While it's hard to say what Sony Santa Monica has in store for the Norse saga, it's not uncommon for successful games to receive spin-off titles, so it is not entirely out of the question. It'll be quite interesting to see what direction the developers choose to take with Atreus' journey and whether or not it will be in a separate game or incorporated into the main series. It's known that Sony Santa Monica is working on a quote-unquote new IP before starting on God of War 6, and there is speculation that this secret project could be directed by Cory Barlog and feature Atreus as the main character. And like I said, this is not out of the realm of possibility, especially for Sony. We've seen it with other games from Insomniac like Spider-Man PS4 releasing a spin-off, in this case Miles Morales, after the main game. It's also worth mentioning that Sonny Soljic's portrayal as Atreus in God of War 2018 and Ragnarok was pretty well received, and many fans would be interested in seeing him continue to portray Atreus as he grows into the role of Loki. Now, whether or not Cory Barlog will be at the helm of the project is hard saying. I imagine he's focusing on God of War 6, or maybe neither, and it's something entirely new that we've never seen before. Like I said, it's pretty hard saying. Now, according to a recent job posting from Santa Monica Studios, they posted on Twitter, Santa Monica Studios is always looking for passionate developers, artists, and designers to help us tell genre-defining stories. Check out this month's open positions. The positions include senior project manager, technical artists, a bunch of programmers, and senior producers. Now, it's not weird for game development studios to constantly hire new employees, but it does seem a bit unusual for Santa Monica Studios to be doing so right before the new year, especially since they just got done shipping Ragnarok. While it is possible that this is just a normal practice for the studio, but it could also indicate that they're ramping up development on their next big project. It's difficult to say for sure what the project might be, but it is possible that it could be a spin-off game, followed by the highly anticipated God of War 6. Of course, this is just speculation. I'm not a game dev, and it's hard to know the inner workings of the industry. However, it's going to be interesting to see what Santa Monica Studios has in store for us for the future of the God of War series. Now, there has been some rumors and speculation about the name of a potential spin-off game set in the Norse universe, with some fans proposing God of Mischief as a fitting title due to the character Atreus being Loki, a well-known trickster. It is expected that any game set in this universe would be successful among some fans. While some players did have some critiques of Atreus's gameplay in Ragnarok, I personally enjoyed it and I would love to see more of it. The missions where Atreus and Angerboda travel through Jotunheim, fighting against literal giants as small beings, was a really fun experience for me, and I would happily play something similar. It's also possible that the next God of War game will be a crossover between different mythologies, which would explain why Ragnarok left us wanting more from the main characters and heavily hinting at Atreus's story continuing from that point. In that case, a spin-off game might not be necessary, but then again, and like I said, it could be that Cory Barlog is working on something completely unrelated to God of War, and I'm just on some serious copium. It's interesting to consider the possibility of Atreus's journey continuing in a future God of War game, or even a spin-off. The ending of God of War certainly left things open for the future, and left many fans wanting more from the characters. Like I said, it's possible, and I think it's almost intentional, that the developers left things open in order to leave room for future developments in the series. As for the possibility of God of War Ragnarok being released on PC alongside a New Game Plus update, it's difficult to say for certain. It wouldn't surprise me, especially with how much Sony is ramping up PC efforts, but it ultimately depends on Sony's decision. If you take a look at Xbox, their ability to support not only the PC but also their consoles is actually pretty great. Granted, their exclusives are kind of fewer and far between, but regardless, Microsoft is absolutely killing the game with their PC and even Game Pass strategy. Now, it likely is the case that God of War Ragnarok's plans for the PC release is unchanged, and the New Game Plus update is just delayed because the development is expected to take a bit more time. I really hope the New Game Plus update is packed full of content. That way it makes the 6-month wait fully worth it. It would be kind of weird if we waited all that time for it to be essentially one-to-one with the God of War 2018 New Game Plus update, but like I said, only time will tell. Regardless though, it will be interesting to see what the future holds for the God of War franchise, and whether or not we will see Atreus' journey continue in a future game, or if they just left the story open to be trolls, who knows. But hey, this is your last chance to win the 80,000 subscriber PS5 giveaway. It also comes with a copy of Hogwarts Legacy or a game of your choice. To enter, all you have to do is subscribe to my channel, comment your Twitter handle, follow me on Twitter, and tweet me proof that you're subscribed by tagging my Twitter handle at WesNemo. The winner will be announced at 80,000 subscribers, and I will not be reaching out via comments. But yeah, guys, that's gonna wrap it up for this video. Before you go though, I want to hear what your thoughts are on the topics we discussed. Be sure to leave a comment and let me know what your thoughts are. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe to the channel with your notifications turned on to stay up to date with all of my future videos. Thanks for watching. This has been Wes, and I will talk to you guys again soon.